this computer. And I opened up the waiting room. Okay, and share you. Um, and I'm gonna mute myself so I can. Hey, have a chit chat so I can see if Mitz can hear you properly.
Yeah, Mitch, hopefully you can hear me. It's Sonny Vara. I can hear you, Sonny, through my phone.
How about now?
Yes. Can you hear me now, Mitch?
Yes.
Mitch, I'm talking now. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm gonna leave myself unmuted.
Unmuted, yeah?
Thanks.
Can you, Mitch,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Okay, good. And I'm sharing my screen now as well, actually.
Yeah,
So
you can see it.
Perfect, yeah.
So I am gonna just stop that annoying noise on Zoom when everybody comes on.
Okay, fine.
Participants. Where is that setting? Hard to find some of those settings once you already start Zoom.
Yeah.
Ah.
Had we even dialed in half an hour earlier, you know?
Chat. I'm not gonna be able to stop that little ding dong.
So I can't hear any noise or anything like that.
You can, I can hear it on mine, so we won't worry
We can
about it
hear
if you're
that.
good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
actually. I
so
can't
whenever
hear
you're ready,
anything.
go ahead and get started.
Okay. Have we got many people joined? I just can't see at the moment. So.
There is quite a few.
Okay.
It's growing. A lot of them had like a watch party at their office.
Right. Right. Okay. Got you. Well, look, I'm more than happy to start if you're comfortable with me
Yeah, let's
starting.
just get
And this is being
started.
recorded. Yeah, no problem. No problem,
So
actually.
I know everybody can still hear me. So hey, this is Bob with Century 21 Jordan Link. So I got Sunny on this call. His graciously said that he would do a cybersecurity training for my brokerage and for anybody in the Century 21 franchise. So I appreciate that. It is probably around 5 p.m. in London and England, where he's from. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this training. Sunny is the owner of CyberSea Group. They're a cybersecurity company, and I'll let him explain what his company does and then provide us with some useful tips and tricks that we can protect ourselves and our family and loved ones. So Sunny, I'll hand it off to you.
Oh, that's amazing, Bob. Thank you very much for the introduction. Yes, so just to introduce myself again, I'm Sunny Vara. I'm the CEO and founder of CyberSea Group. We're now a fast-growing global company, and just to add to what Bob says, we look after data protection, cybersecurity, and AI enablement. So we help small, medium, and large organizations be aware of the threats that they're actually posed to from the cybersecurity world. The title of this course is Cybersecurity Training. Yes, we've got 1 hour at the moment, where hopefully you will learn lots of hints and tips. I just wanted some positive confirmation. Bob, can you see my screen as well, just to...
Yes.
Brilliant. No, that's excellent. So this masterclass, I'm calling it a masterclass because there are 10 items that we're going to be covering off in this actual session itself. Number one, we're going to be learning about hackers and dark web. I myself, so I just wanted to explain. So I've been in the industry nearly 20 years, and I'm a trained ethical hacker, and I'll explain what that means. So you get the bad guys who are black hat hackers. And I would regard myself as a white hat hacker. So where I'm coming from today is an ethical space where I personally got hacked nearly 20 years ago when, and the context is that me and my wife went for a mortgage, having saved up for a deposit for our first house. And all of a sudden, I found out I wasn't able to get a mortgage. And what had actually happened in the UK, went to a UK bank and found out I had a really bad credit score. And what had somebody done? Somebody had taken out £250,000 in loans in my name. And I wasn't in this industry at the time. So I've gone through a lot of personal learning around how individuals like you and I are susceptible of getting fraudulently attacked. And what you've actually got on the screen here is 10 areas that I believe are the mere fundamental basics to actually know about and to embed within your priority, your family, your friends, and then B, also an equal priority, your business, where you've got the crown jewels, where you've actually got lots of devices and data and the services that you provide to your customers. So yes, I am going to talk about my ethical hacking experience. I'm going to demystify what the dark web actually is as well. I'm going to talk about, who hides your data and how safe is your email and all this kind of stuff. So I won't read all this out anyway. You can see on your screen in terms of the 10 areas. But the important value that I want to provide all of you today is the actionable steps to improve yours and your family and your business's cybersecurity posture as well. So that's how we'll end this session as well. I will actually break off at various intervals where if there are any questions, we've got Mitz who will relay any potential questions at these intervals. Otherwise, we will have Q&A at the end as well. So yeah, just to kind of talk a bit more about me as well, just so you know who I am. So, although, when I mentioned ethical hacking, so I do this in a safe and secure way and from a good place. Please feel free to connect with me as well. So there's a QR code that will actually help you to kind of connect with me on LinkedIn and all the social media profiles that I actually put free, valuable information out there as well. Remember, I'm coming from a personal perspective where it had a detrimental impact on me when I got cyber attacked almost 20 years ago. And this is 20 years worth of learnings and how I actually help individuals and small, medium and large businesses protect them against cyber attacks as well. In terms of the company, as Bob said, I'm the founder and CEO of CyberSea. We're HQ'd in London, but we have now got a presence in the US. We've now got a presence in the UAE. We're doing some work in Australia. So I'm personally proud from where I've been personally to kind of helping individuals like yourselves to kind of prevent, any kind of cyber attacks, and also to understand data privacy legislation that all of your businesses will be susceptible to. And this big thing around AI enablement, where, everyone will be using AI. And I can tell you from personal experience that the cyber threats that you and I face on a daily basis, even me, even if I'm in the game, I'm still, I still will have a big threat against me and my business as well. AI has actually accelerated it 100 times as well. And I'll touch upon these areas in a sec as well. What we do, so this is more if you put your business lives, so your brokerages, your businesses, for example. I won't go into too much detail, but CyberSea, what my business does, we help individuals and businesses of all sizes understand their risks when it comes to cyber. We prioritize the risks, so we highlight them in a really simple and pragmatic way. But the key thing that we do is help with mitigation of your cybersecurity risks as well. And this whole area of making sure that your house, your digital house, is actually locked and preventing cyber attacks happening is this maintenance item as well. I'll touch upon this later as well. Again, what we provide, so CyberSea provide these full health checks. So everything that you're going to learn today is where, should you be interested in our services, or if you're just intrigued and if you've got questions, what we provide is businesses and individuals like yourselves a full health check when it comes to cybersecurity. So what we'll do is review your posture. We engage you, and in simple terms, we will actually relay where your family and business cybersecurity risks are. And we'll almost put it into some sort of gap analysis and a detailed report. And of course, the services that my organization provides. So, we've got a plethora of individuals who are well versed with cybersecurity and ethical hackers who are able to then help you to understand how vulnerable your digital posture actually is as well. So for me, it's a quote that I always start off with. I mean, cybersecurity is not an IT issue. I believe firmly it's a boardroom issue as well. So, you will have fantastic IT infrastructure in place, and I know Bob does an amazing job within Century 21 as well. But where I'm coming from, IT, in my personal opinion, and there's lots of debate that actually has, when I say this, is IT is about hardware, software, infrastructure, and all that great stuff that Bob and yourselves do, and in getting your IT in place. But cybersecurity is the wrapper around IT. So it isn't IT, it's the wrapper around cybersecurity. So it's the stuff that you do to protect your devices, your services, and your data. Where I'm coming from, and again, I've just put a quote on there. I mean, feel free to read that as well. But where I'm coming from is that you must be in a position, and what I learned through my personal situation is to understand how risky your business is and how risky you are as an individual as well. We have these mobile phones that we actually present we service our lives through these mobile devices, and you'll be absolutely amazed of how much data that we put on these devices. And you'll be also amazed at the end of this session how much of that data is available to black hat hackers as well. So these are the bad people, the people that I aim to combat. This is an interesting stat as well. So if cybercrime was a country, its economy would be the third largest in the world. Yeah, so behind the US, Japan and China and all that stuff, so all these big industries. Cybersecurity, if it was an industry, it would be on par with the likes of China and Japan, for example, as well. It's a multi-trillion-pound industry. I've had personal experience of learning from hackers and how much, it's in specific parts of the world as well, where this is actually a business. You've got very, very, intelligent people out there where they're turning to cybercrime because it's easy and it's easy money as well. And today I'm going to talk about the hints and tips on how to prevent you and your family and your business being cyber attacked. So for me, look, from a business perspective, you all own and run and work in fantastic businesses. And I'm sure you'll agree that for me, your business's reputation is absolutely key. And this is something that Warren Buffett actually said. Warren Buffett actually talked about a business's reputation takes 20 years to build, but 5 minutes to ruin. I've got a personal take on that. If you, in this world now, in the cyber crime world that we all live in, a business's reputation takes 20 years to build, but 5 seconds to ruin as well. And today I will demonstrate to you how this could actually potentially happen as well. So I've touched upon this already, but it's really clear that from your business hat on, you really understand what cybersecurity actually is. So remember, it's not an IT issue. It's the wrapper around the IT services that you actually have. So that includes your devices, the services that you provide to your customers, and that commercial and personal data that you actually have within your business as well. So all that personal and sensitive information, how would your business survive if a hacker was able to actually get that personal sensitive data and use it against you and use it against the reputation of your business? Again, I'll be touching upon all the hints and tips that you need to protect your own devices, your business devices, the services that you provide within your businesses, and the personal sensitive data that you actually do hold on behalf of your customer as well. And the thing is that, again, from a business perspective, what I'd like to say is that it's really important that within your business and your home life to implement the appropriate security measures to protect you and your business. And again, I keep on saying this, I know, but you're going to learn lots of hints and tips over the next half an hour to 45 minutes on what to actually do as well. So when I got cyber attacked 20 years ago, I was in this world of, Barclays Bank took me to court for 4 years. What they did was, they were holding me accountable for the £250,000 of loans in my name. And obviously they didn't pay it back. So I went through, lots of different mechanisms to, the police. I went to government. I went to Citizens Advice Bureau in the UK. There was no help for me personally. So where I set up CyberSea back in 2017 was to relay the education around what I've learned. One of the first things I learned when I got cyber attacked was the internet as me and you know it is the surface web. But there is this thing called the deep web and the dark web. The deep web is in your businesses, you will actually process legal documents, scientific reports, all the customer information that you actually provide. Now, that is actually stored on the deep web. The hackers operate on the deep web and the dark web. But what they do is we leave clues on the surface web. Now, if I said to you, now this is a stat, the first stat that I want to give you today is 4% of personal and sensitive data is available on the surface web. So, you know, when you go on Google, when you go on Bing, Wikipedia, all that kind of stuff as well, 4% of all personal and sensitive data is available on the surface web. 90% of personal, sensitive, and commercial data is on the deep web. And 6% of that information is also available on the dark web. Now, this is where predominantly the hackers will actually operate. Now, I learned when I had nowhere to turn, there were these individuals that I came across who operated on the dark web. And from these individuals, I learned how you and I are hackable with the data that we put on these devices. And all sorts of bad things happen. I mean, on the screen, you can see that drug trafficking, private communications, political, illegal information, pedophilia. You know, you can buy guns and weapons and you name it, you know, you can buy on the dark web. And I don't suggest going onto it, but what you know, there are certain browsers such as the Tor, yeah. I've been trained over the last 15 odd years to go onto the dark web in a safe and secure and compliant way, and to be able to help individuals and businesses identify what's actually on the dark web about them as well. So I wanted to pause there for a sec, just for you to digest. And 4% of personal and sensitive data, your personal and sensitive data, is available on the surface web. 90% of all this information is available on the deep web. And the dark web is 6% as well. So what does the dark web actually do? So for me, you can buy all sorts of services on the dark web. A predominant service on the dark web is you can hire a hacker. Now, I don't condone this. I don't recommend anyone doing this on this call. And but what the dark web actually enables people to go on and buy is phone hacking, cheating partner monitoring. You know, if you wanted to hack into someone's Facebook, if you wanted to actually go onto WhatsApp. Now, the most disgusting thing, and please, I'm coming from a good space here. There are individuals around the world who are using the dark web to buy and plant child porn on individuals as well. That's done through IRA hacker services. So that's how sick and disgusting it can actually get on the dark web as well. You can see on your screen that you know that there's lots and lots of obvious areas. So, you know, some of you may have had your Facebook hacked and Snapchat hacked and Instagram hacked and all that stuff. It all happens on the dark web. Now, if I was to tell you and describe to you how much these services cost, so I can tell you that in terms of if you wanted to kind of get someone's Facebook hacked, it will cost you in the region of $40 to $50. If you wanted to kind of you know, hack into someone's cryptocurrency today, it will cost you around about $100. If you wanted to change your college or university grade changes, etc., you're talking $80. Yeah. And guess what? Today, you know, it's just like the dark web. Anyone that's been on the dark web will resonate with this as well. But you can actually get buy one get one free offers. So if you wanted to hack 2 lots of Facebooks today, you probably get it for buy one get one free as well. All right. So again, I'm just describing here just one of multi-million services that actually happens on the dark web today. If you ask me today, what is hot property and what's going like hotcakes on the dark web? Guess what it is? It's people's Wi-Fi router passwords. So I empower you to look at when you go home, when you're at home and in your offices. Please, 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 what I would say is that look at your Wi-Fi router. If you have not changed your Wi-Fi password, I'm willing to bet that that password will be on the dark web, willing to buy. Now, the consequences of not changing your Wi-Fi password in this day and age, and literally in this calendar year, is you've got insiders who are actually working for Wi-Fi providers, and they will actually leak passwords such as this onto the dark web. Now, you and I, you know, we're all busy people. If we have not actually, you know, changed that password, or you might think that's safe and secure, then this is where individual hackers will actually break into these passwords. And guess what? What they'll do is just listen and watch. Now, there are statistics to actually say this, that an average amount of days, so a hacker will actually sit on your devices via this way for up to 290 days and just watch you. And this is God's honest truth. And this is what I really found shocking and disgusting. And for me, it's about kind of educating yourselves and your families. And please, send this on to your families. And if your Wi-Fi password has not been changed, tip number 1 is change your Wi-Fi password. You'll see my details at the end as well. So if you need any advice and guidance on how to do it as well, I'm more than happy to, if you want to send me an email or reach out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook, more than happy to give you guidance and advice on how to do that as well. So this is tip number 1. There is something that's really apparent at the moment, and it's called homograph phishing. All right. Now, when you look at these two websites, you may have Apple phones, you may have a cause to go onto Apple's website. One of these are fake websites and one of these are legit. Obviously, I've labeled on here which one's fake and which one's legit. I would like to pause here, but can anyone see the difference? Now, Mitz, I don't know if I can bring you in here at this stage, but is anyone kind of want to be brave enough to see what's so fake about that particular website?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they can see it, but not on my screen.
Okay, no problem. No, that's fine. Okay. Well, what I'm saying is that we're all busy people, right? All we want to do is get onto the Apple website. But the L, so this
Oh
is
my
the
gosh.
yeah, look at this here. And look at this L here. Yeah. Now, you and I are all busy people. It's got
Sonny, we just had a big
Yeah.
gasp in the office.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah. So, look, guys, this is about, it is what it is. But all I ask is be vigilant, and again, that health check that I talked about, and the tooling and the services and the advice and guidance that my organization provides is basically provides you the ability to be able to spot these fake websites and the legit websites as well. All right. So something that I wanted to talk about in terms of, there is no real, there are solutions out there that we provide, obviously, and there's free things out there that you can Google, all that kind of stuff as well. But it's a second bit of awareness that I wanted to give you. Homograph phishing. It's a new thing. The other one thing I wanted to also say here is, and there is no slide on this at the moment, but the big thing that is rife on the dark web, and you can buy these services, is quishing. Quishing is basically, so everyone knows about QR codes, right? So even I gave you the QR code right at the start. Here you go. So let's go through it. So this QR code, now I can assure you this QR code is safe and secure and is compliant, and it will definitely lead to me. However, in all states of the US at the moment, and all across Europe and the UK and Australia and the UAE, the big area of cyber attacks is around quishing. Quishing is basically where you would actually go to a typical car park, and you actually park your car up, and what you would do is go to the QR code to actually pay for your 2 hours that you're going to be there. Now, there is a big scam happening at the moment where hackers will actually take a copy of a QR code and create stickers and put it on top of the signs that are legitimate. And then you come along and go into it. Now, what they will do is copy the pay-as-you-go or parking website, but guess what? You're not paying the money to the parking owner. What you're paying is the hacker with the sticker that you use. So the simple advice, the tip is, if you are ever using parking lots where you're forced to use QR codes, get your hand and make sure if it's a sticker, do not use it, please. All right. So that's again, Mitz, I wanted to pause there, but has that caused any reaction and any kind of questions or?
Everybody's eyes kind of rolled back, so I think you're eliciting the correct emotion.
Well, it's
Oh,
probably
okay.
because it's probably because of the things that people do that they don't pay
Yeah,
attention to.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think for me, um, these are the hints, and this is what we as CyberSea see on a regular basis. Where I've had family, friends, small businesses that have approached me, and all of a sudden, you've given your data to a fake website which looks real. You want to go onto Apple website, get your new phone, which is out soon, and all of a sudden you've been circumvented and you've given your money away. And a lot of this is, when you go on these fake websites, the other tip, so this is, I'm giving you lots of tips here, guys, so I'm going to lose count in a sec, is that when you go onto these websites, it might look all real. Yeah, British Airways actually got fined for this many years ago, where people were looking to book their flights, etc. And you can look this up as well. And somebody had created a BA.com different kind of website which looked real, and all they were doing is circumventing payments. And when these people turned up to the airport, they didn't have any tickets, for example, as well. So the other thing to also note here is that a lot of hackers, the services that I see on the dark web today, is that people will actually create these fake websites for you. You can buy all these as well. And what will happen is it will look all realistic. And once someone clicks on the fake website, what they will do is there's technology out there now that they will have direct access to your webcam. And again, I'll say that again, they will have direct access to your webcam. So again, if you talk to me about what's available on dark web, what are hackers actually buying? Access to your webcam. All right. Now, the reason why I say this is really, really important is because I have horrendous stories and individuals that have approached me around being filmed, getting changed, naked, etc. Okay, yeah, and then basically they get a ransomware to say, if you don't give me this kind of money, I will actually post this on YouTube. And literally, I was saying to Bob before, literally on this call, I've had one today where a hairdressing business has actually been scammed, and these people have just been on a laptop just watching. You and I would never know. And this is where I really talk about, having a health check to identify on your devices, your mobile devices, your laptops, really being able to kind of understand, have you got a clean laptop when nobody's on there as well? The other thing I would say is most modern laptops, for example, have webcam covers as well. If you haven't got one, I would get some blue tack or a sticky note. And when you're not using your laptop, please put some blue tack or sticky note over your webcam as well. All right. So that's a tip number, whatever it is. All right.
Hey, Sunny, and where you were talking about the URL, the biggest thing that I see is everybody is in such a hurry that first they Google everything, which they shouldn't be. If I know I'm going to Apple's website, I'm going to go to the address bar and type in apple.com.
Yeah.
But because the agents are also, sometimes people are in a hurry, they may put in appl.com, not pay attention, but somebody's already created a similar website looking like Apple, but it's not Apple. And now they're purchasing stuff that they've never purchased. So you got to be really diligent on what you're typing, how you're typing, and what are you searching, and making sure that you're clicking on the proper links and not sponsored links or anything like that.
But Bob, that's a really, really important point you've raised there as well. I mean, like I said, we're all busy people, right? I mean, we just want to go into the Apple website and we want to buy that iPhone, etc. as well. But I'm showing you on the screen how easy it is to go onto that fake website. It still says apple.com. It's got S on there. So the HTTPS, S is like an SSL certificate, means that there's certain encryption and security in place. But guess what? It's not. So the other tip I wanted to give here as well, so what I personally do as well, so how many times have you gone on to Google and put, you've actually asked to book a flight. So let's say you've gone on to unitedairlines.com and you want to get into London. So you've actually typed into United Airlines by Google. You said, right, I want to actually fly to London on 1st of October to the 20th of October. And then you'll walk away. And then what will happen is you might go in there, speak to your partner, husband, wife, spouse, whatever, and say, oh, let's have a look at, I'm going to change my dates. Now, all of a sudden, what you've actually done is Google is tracking you. And well, I can definitely confirm this as well. What you'll probably find is next time you're actually on the internet as well, you'll either get lots of adverts for trips to London, people trying to offer you lots of trips and offers. But then the other thing is what United Airlines will do is when you go onto their website and when you accept the cookies, what they will do is almost kind of see that Bob Patel is, wanting to go to London. He wants to fly on United Airlines. Let's send him some adverts. But you know what? There's lots of Bob Patels who are wanting to the same trip, for example. So what they will do then is raise the price. Now, again, I'll pause that, but has that happened to anybody, or does anyone resonate with that, or Mitz or Bob?
Yeah,
has anyone? Yeah.
It does, because I was looking at airline flights going to Orlando for next year's Elevate 21 event.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hold on, because I was checking in Fresno. So I'm like, I went back and went into DuckDuck, used a different browser that doesn't do tracking, and found cheaper flights.
And what Bob has just done is stolen my thunder, because what my
Sorry.
next tip was going to be. What my next tip was going to be, look, I still use Google, but if you want to make sure that you're not tracked, then use something called DuckDuckGo. Yeah. When I actually use my banking or anything that's personal and private to me, that I don't want anyone to find out, I go through DuckDuckGo, as Bob has just displayed as well. And he obviously just said that, well, the price hasn't changed now if I go on DuckDuckGo. And I'm saying this more from a personal perspective as well. You don't want to pay extra for flights, your family holidays, etc. What you want to do is make sure that, so turn it to your advantage, don't get tracked, don't use Google, use DuckDuckGo is the tip I've got there as well. The other thing I would say is, if you ask me what happens on the dark web today as well, and it's happened to, regrettably, my brother as well recently as well. So you'll resonate with what I'm saying as well. So my brother recently, he has put on Facebook, he's going to Dubai, posting lots of pictures. He's having a bit of a, you'd think having a brother like me in the family, he'd learn, but no, he doesn't learn. He doesn't like listening to me. But this is a good example where what actually happened is, he's very social media savvy. He posts pictures of when he's going to his house or picking up, work and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, what I'm trying to demonstrate here, he's got a social media profile. Now, when he actually leaves from London to go to Dubai, he will actually post, oh, I'm in Dubai, I'm on top of Burj Khalifa, look at me. Now, what I will definitely say here, guys, is that AI is obviously the hot topic now as well. But there's something called, and there's lots more products like this as well, something called GeoSpy. Now, GeoSpy is basically a tool where you can go onto anybody's social media profile and you can actually get the picture, paste it in the area, and you can actually see where that picture was actually taken. So in the example of my brother, he's obviously posted stuff at home where he's posting pictures of whatever he was at home. So when you go behind that picture, it's got the GPS, longitude, latitude, the coordinates of where he actually lives. Then all of a sudden, he's actually gone to Dubai and posting pictures there as well. Now, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is you can buy this type of data from people that are posting stuff on social media like Facebook or Instagram, and get these pictures and also track where people are. Now, there's hackers out there that make it their job, and they've got analysts, and plethora of analysts who would study this data and say, Sonny Vara Jr. Has now actually left his house and he's now posting Dubai. And they will hack into, if my brother hasn't changed his Wi-Fi password, by the way, which he had in this instance, but then they would actually see if anyone's at home. Now, he'll have an Alexa or a Google Home or whatever, all these IoT devices. These devices listen. So tip number one, what I was going to say is, go onto Google, first of all, and there is a way you can actually blur your home out as well. All right. So that's tip number one. If you don't know how to do it, go on to DuckDuckGo and say, how do I blur my Google map location as well? All right. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, I was going to say, make sure that whatever pictures that you're posting online, be aware that black hat hackers, you know, the bad people, can actually go into any of these pictures and able to kind of look at the location of where that picture was actually taken as well. And what you're leaving is a trail of profile of where you're actually posting stuff, where's home, where's work. And this is called social media engineering as well, yeah? So where there's all this public information that we put on our phones, and we leave this information out there as well. But AI is making it so easy for people now to be able to say, okay, well, where's Mr. Vara Jr. actually gone? Oh, his house is vacant. You can buy data to say vacant houses. You know, this person's actually, you know, they've logged into their Ring doorbell. He's in Dubai at the moment. And burglars buy data to say, Mr. Vara Jr. is actually not here at the moment and his house is actually available to burgle. I'm going to pause there, guys, but hopefully, I don't know if that resonates with anybody or is that useful? Again, I'll go to Bob and Mitch. Does that help?
No, it's very useful. It's just what happens is everybody, like we talked before, takes everything for granted. It's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And the day it does, it's just like, you know, at first when cybersecurity came in, people were talking about how somebody would click on a miscellaneous link and then, oh yeah, your computer's infected, call this number. They would call this number. And of course, if it was fake, pay them hundreds of dollars. And then, of course, agents would think that's not going to happen to me. And of course, it happens to them because we let our guards down. And it's super important in cybersecurity world is just to pay attention. Just slow down for a split second. It could save you a lot of money.
100%. And you know what? This goes down to the education. And today, look, this is about educating yourselves as business owners and people who work in businesses and family people who, you know, in every walk of life, it's really, really important to kind of be vigilant, as Bob rightly says as well. Now, there is I mean, you can follow this guy as well. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but Bob, if I just play this video, if you can't hear it, please let me know.
Okay.
And I'll stop.
And I can look through your webcam, I can control your keyboard, your mouse, look at your screen, do anything I want without you knowing that I'm there. And I infected a ton of computers. And instead of having the remote access Trojan functionality where I could do, you know, I could take control of these computers, I decided to do crypto mining. So at that time it was just Bitcoin and Litecoin. And, you know, I had quite a bit of infected computers mining at all times. The thing that I did that was, if you could say nice, was that when the computer was idle, it would use 100% of the processor and the graphics card to mine the coins. And when the computer was in use, it would only use 20%. So they wouldn't, you know, have a horrible experience with their computer just being bogged down the entire time. But that was I guess.
So you had
started around that time.
You had hacked into how many computers? 100?
Thousands,
Thousands?
tens of thousands. Yeah, probably tens of thousands.
And so all of these tens of thousands of computers are mining cryptocurrency and going into your account?
So the purpose of showing you that is, so I live in a community where, because I go into the dark web as an ethical hacker and helping businesses, it's almost, you've got, so the guy that you just saw, you know, he's turned from black hat hacking to white hat hacking as well. So he's turned from bad to good. And he does a lot of education, similar to what we're doing today. And what I wanted to demonstrate there is what he was also saying is that, you know, cover your webcam. It's very easy. If you don't change your Wi-Fi password on your router, hackers like him in his previous life, he would have actually been able to just see what you're doing through your webcam as well. All right. Now, again, just for illustration purposes, we use all these apps on our phones every day, and but there's one of these apps that collects 79% of all categories of personal data. I'll leave you to ponder on which one, but I'll give you the answer, and the answer is Facebook. You will not believe how much information Facebook actually holds. So you'll know this anyway, but WhatsApp, people say to me, well, I don't use Facebook, I use WhatsApp. But guess what? WhatsApp is owned by Facebook, for example, as well. Yeah, you might say it's encrypted, but guess what? If your Wi-Fi router at home has not been changed, it's very easy to circumvent someone's WhatsApp messages as well. All right, so be mindful of information. Look, I use Facebook, I use Instagram, I use all these apps. So I'm not saying here these apps are bad. What I am saying is that any of the apps that you use, this is tip number whatever it is, but the tip here is please, when you're using these apps or your social media apps, go onto your privacy and security settings and make sure that you're actually selecting the settings to anonymize a lot of this information that you're already putting out there and sharing via Facebook as well.
Hey, Sunny, quick question.
Yeah, please do.
I got a question from Larry. He's one of our managers. Is what's happening when a person's phone, when you discover several images in the photo gallery that appear to be screenshots of random people and objects, how would those photos appear?
Okay, so this is a developing scam at the moment as well. I would say, sorry, the individual's name was, sorry?
Larry?
Oh, Larry. Hi, Larry. Yeah, so Larry, what's potentially happened there is wherever you've actually been connected to a Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi password has been compromised. So what you've actually got here is hackers who are just testing it. And what I would certainly do, not click on these pictures. Once you've clicked on these pictures, there's technology out there to be able to have access to your webcam as well. So at the very least, I would actually delete these pictures. Do not keep them on your phone, because these are just pictures that would actually be there collecting data as well. And then on a personal level, Larry, please reach out to me and I will give you the codes to be able to clear that off your device of where that phone was actually had photos as well. Is that helpful, or does that even answer the question?
One more question. If your location service is turned off on your phone camera, does that prevent GeoSpy identifying where your photo is at?
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah. So this is where I talk about privacy and security settings of all the usual apps that you actually use. Remember, all these apps will actually pop up now and again and say, do you allow tracking? Never allow tracking. It's almost, I know it's tedious, but only allow tracking. So when I allow Google to track me is only when I want to use Google Maps, for example, and then I'll go into the privacy and security settings to turn it off as well. Yeah.
So one of the big mistakes that most people make is when they're, let's say, shopping, Home Depot, Lowe's, they go onto their website and it says, would you like to allow your location? Of course, most people don't want that annoying pop-up, so they'll go yes. So now you're allowing locations from multiple locations. All my devices are no. I'll manually punch in the zip code. You don't need to know where I'm sitting or where I'm located. That's another thing that you guys can do is just don't allow your devices to automatically, yes, allow. It doesn't matter what website you're on, because if they get compromised, you're compromised.
Totally. I'm just going to share a video as well now. So based on what Bob, you've just said as well, hopefully you can hear this, Bob. So if I can just get a quick positive.
Hello, Colonel.
Hot chocolate.
What's the name?
Joanne Office.
What was your name?
Alex.
Alex. There you go, Johnny. If you like our Facebook page, we give you a free hot drink and a free pastry.
Yes, we have a new
Darling, hi there, can I help?
I just liked your Facebook. Okay, I'll search Facebook now. Searching Google. Have a phone number. I've got an email address.
Okay, Carly, are you ready? Yes.
Yep, I am.
Oh my gosh.
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Your date of birth, 7th May, you live at 38K.
Just pick up a second. Yeah, got it. Damien, age 26, and a fitness instructor. Brody goes to UCL, Martin went to South Thames College, assistant psychologist at Great Ormond Street. Huh? Pardon?
Another question as well.
Oh, yeah, we know everything about you, Martin. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Anna from Russia.
I think they're giving their name, their phone numbers, and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
to show them, like, when they go into the coffee shop, like, how did you know my name and etc.
Yeah, and I think this is a really key thing. And what we've been talking about in the last few minutes is when you're liking people's pages. So the worst thing, in my personal opinion, and again, this is one of the other tips that I want to leave you with, is when you go into your Costas or the Starbucks, and when you actually have free Wi-Fi, remember it's unsecure Wi-Fi as well. And this is a known operation throughout Europe, UK, and the US. I mean, I was in the US only shortly as well, and I was able to demonstrate to a potential client how much of their information I was able to get when they were actually sat across me. And I know all the websites that they were actually going on and all that stuff as well. So the secret here is obviously a tip is to get what's called a VPN, virtual privacy network as well. And again, if you want to make a note of that, please reach out to me. I'll more than happily advise you which ones to get. I personally use something called Norton, where I pay a minimal amount and it covers me, my wife, and my daughter, who's 11. And so, yeah, just be careful in these coffee shops, because this is a known operation. But also, as Bob was rightly saying, if you're allowing your tracking of your location and all that stuff as well, guess what? People will actually be able to get your information as well. And it's the issue is what they can do with it as well. So
One more
the next
question,
thing
Sunny.
yeah, no problem, Bob. No problem.
Is there a way to know if your phone, computer, or network has been hacked?
100% there is as well. So there are different codes that we provide. So again, I haven't got them with me here, but if you've got an iPhone, there's various codes that we provide to say someone else is listening to your phone, someone else is actually watching on your phone, and your iPhone, that is, and there's different codes for Android. There's different codes for other different types of devices as well. So yes is the answer. I'd be really boring if I said all the codes on this call now as well, but please feel free to reach out to me because everyone's got their own individual devices. But there is ways to actually identify whether your phone is being watched and tracked as well.
So
Is
the
that
one,
kind of
the one thing that you said makes 100% sense, because every time I go to either the Century 21 conventions or anywhere, or if I'm visiting my son in Texas or anywhere, I always turn on my VPN.
100%.
100% turn on, so nobody can track my data. They don't know where I'm located. I could be sitting at a coffee shop across from a hacker.
Private network.
He won't know I'm in the coffee shop.
Virtual private network.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the other ways in terms of how vulnerable you are then as an individual is I'm going to share with you a website, which please take a note of it or take a picture, please, as well. This is a safe website to actually go on. It's called HTTPS / have I been pwned, pwned.com. Yeah. So if you put your email address in there, and so that your work one, your family one, and your personal one, all that stuff as well, that website will actually tell you how much of your personal and sensitive data is already out there. So we talked earlier about the deep web earlier, yeah? So remember surface web, Google and all that stuff? Surface web, deep web, and dark web. Now, the deep web is basically where organizations like yourselves would actually put information onto their commercial systems, etc. But these are organizations that you've actually given your personal sensitive data. Now, organizations are being cyber attacked on a daily basis, minute by minute. Now, these organizations, if they get cyber attacked, guess what? Your personal data is immediately on the dark web. This website will actually show you, so that this website here in the middle will actually show you, once you put your email address in there and press check, when you scroll down, it will actually show you who has actually breached your data as well. So some of you may, whilst I'm speaking, you may actually go on there, put your personal email addresses in there, and maybe in the Q&A at the end, please, identify if you're brave enough to say, oh yeah, this has happened to me. And if that's happened to you, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you in terms of how you clear that data that's been breached onto the dark web by people who you've actually given the data to as well.
Yep.
Talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently?
It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon,
And what's his name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania,
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School
Oh, when did you graduate?
in 2009.
Oh, great.
Like my cat's name and then just like a random number.
Okay.
But
And you had this cat for a while?
yeah, she's my childhood pet.
Aw. And what's her name?
Her name is Jolie.
Jolie.
Mhm.
So like a password of yours would be Jolie and then a number.
Yeah.
Like number 1.
Like my birthday,
Oh, when is your birthday?
June 12th,
Oh, nice. And what year were you born?
95.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
So Jolie, 6/12/95.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you mean to give my password right now? No, I cannot do that.
But we all want to know what it is so we can tell you if it's strong or not.
Oh my goodness. Let me think. Okay, one is Tel Aviv. Yeah. 468. And then Israel. It's only 3, but it's for me it's strong enough.
Ireland, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gemma, 1, 2, 3. Spelled Gemma. Well, most of them are Italian.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so
Like what's a good Italian password?
my grandma's name,
What's your grandma's name?
Maria.
Maria. So Maria is your password?
Oh yeah, now you know my password. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so from my perspective, that's just to illustrate how easy we give away our passwords. So how many times have you actually been on a website and it asks you to save your user ID and password, etc. as well? And you may, for sense of ease, may have actually kind of saved your password. But guess what? When these organizations get cyber attacked, user IDs and passwords, which is saved for your convenience, can be actually leaked onto the dark web as well. So this is just a stat. You can see the horrendous number there, but how many usernames and passwords have been exposed as of 2022? So I'm working on trying to get 2024 results so far to date, but this just gives you an idea of how many of your passwords and usernames, and this could be your bank details, it could be, your Gmail, Hotmail details, it's all out there as well. Now, if you said to me, well, how do people break into people's passwords? Now, on the dark web, you can buy brute force as a service, yeah? So brute force as a service is basically where you can buy for $50, yeah, $50, okay, yeah, you can buy something called brute force, where you can actually plug in people's email addresses, and getting people's email addresses is easy, right? And it will actually work out what the actual password is as well. So this is something that I need you to be aware of, that this exists out there, and lots and lots of hackers actually use that. Now, please take a picture of this if you can. Please pass it on to your friends and family and colleagues. But this is something I put together in terms of time taken to hack passwords with brute force. Yeah. So if you just imagine, and don't say it out loud, obviously, but if you just imagine your own password that you use at the moment, let's say if your password at the moment, the number of characters is 8 and it's all lowercase, using brute force, you can instantly break into that password. Now, if you're now thinking your password, okay, it's 18 digits, and it's numbers, uppercase, lowercase, letters and symbols. It takes 438 trillion tech years to actually break into that password as well. Now, do remember this was something that was produced and data was available by Hive Systems that we put together in 2022. Now, guess what's happened recently? AI has blown up. Now, what AI has enabled is it's actually thrown this analysis that I did on behalf of my company, it's thrown it out of the water. Now, if you've got a number of characters, 18, and you've got numbers, uppercase, lowercase, letters, and symbols, that 438 trillion tech years has turned into 38 minutes. I'll pause there, but 38 minutes. Any reaction on that, Mitz or Bob or?
There's probably tons, but they're not gonna say. Because most of them probably have 6 characters with a 1, 2, 3, 4. So now they're like,
Instant.
yeah, gotta pause.
Honestly, my banking password is about 13 characters, and I've had it for a long time, but so it's probably time to change, right?
It's please do. That's your homework.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think, look, you know, my job is I think like a hacker, and these are tricks and trades of what you need to do. So please take a picture of this, share it with your family and friends, and please use this to audit your own passwords that you use. And remember, there's people that are buying brute force attacks, and it's very easy to get. And this is how hackable you can be. You want to be in the green region. Now, you'll say, well, hang on, AI has actually turned it into 30 odd minutes. Fine. What do I do? What I use is what's called a password manager. Now, for your business, for your family, I highly recommend going onto DuckDuckGo and searching password manager and being able to kind of, you know, for your own specific requirements, I would actually invest in a password manager. And what a password manager does is you'll have one user ID and username and password, which is going to be longer than 18 digits. What I personally do is I use 3 random phrases with lowercase, uppercase, symbols, etc. as well. And only I know. I never ever share it with anybody else as well. And then what actually happens? That password manager makes it easier for me to kind of access banking apps and council apps and all that stuff as well. And it scrambles the passwords. I never have to remember all the other passwords as well. All right. So that's another tip. Obviously, please use this matrix to be able to audit your password and invest in a password manager as well. I'm not selling anything, but these are, you know, just examples of some of the good password. It says best, but it's not best. Some of the good passwords managers are out there. But then also, again, it just goes to show how unsecure this is as well. You get some password managers and you'll invest in one, which is a layered approach. But even LastPass, who are a well-known password manager, got cyber attacked as well. So they actually leaked it. So look, this is about, you know, when I talk to my family and friends and colleagues and clients, I always talk about having a layered approach. You know, change your Wi-Fi passwords, making sure your passwords are long, getting a password manager, getting a VPN. Do not recycle your passwords as well. So Mitz, you know, I know you've been, you know, using your password for years and might be safe and all that stuff, but please do not use the same passwords for everything else. But look, you know, I have a very bad memory and I can't remember lots of passwords, but I use a password manager to take all that worry and stress away as well. 2-factor authentication is really, really important, guys, as well. So remember, go onto your privacy and security settings. And you know, when you have to put a thumbprint or facial recognition, really, really important. It makes you almost prevent 99% of all automated attacks as well, by the way. Okay, really, really important as well. Again, for the purposes of time, I just wanted to mention this as another layered approach that you need to actually have. I won't dwell too much on this slide, but really what this demonstrates is the types of cyber attacks that actually happen. So they're called vectors. You know, we talked about phishing. There's things called ransomware. It is on the increase, and the traffic that I see on the dark web, it increases on a day-on-day basis as well. The big ones are ransomware, phishing, and social engineering. Let me just go straight to, now this is one of the last but one slides I'm going to show. Ransomware what we're saying here is ransomware is a thing that you do not want to be in a situation. So all these hints and tips, if you do not actually kind of embed these hints and tips and more, there's lots and lots of more that I can advise you, then you are at risk of ransomware. And what that basically means is that next time you log onto your laptop, and if somebody has got your Wi-Fi password, if somebody has got your credentials and they've been watching you and your webcam's been open, all that stuff as well, you will get this screen, yeah? And now this is just an example screen where, you open up your laptop from a business perspective, and this is what is a typical ransomware where they will actually put you on a timer, and they'll basically say your time is actually reduced. Now, what they'll say is, okay, if you don't pay me this much of Bitcoin and decrypt, then your files are going to go, and you're never going to be able to access your laptops and your files and all that. You do not want to be in this position, because 9 times out of 10, your data will go. And that's not scaremongering, guys, and please don't think that. Everything that we talked about today is preventing this actually happening, because once this happens, some people pay it. Now, again, I always say, do not pay a ransomware, the $300. Some people, I mean, I've seen one for £150,000 this week as well. And I'm advising not to pay. And the reason why I say not to pay is because if you pay, you'll suddenly become hot property on the dark web, where people will buy a lot of that data that's already available on the dark web, and it will happen again and again and again, all right, as well. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this. Oh, yeah. The other one is, how much do you think a ransomware would cost? Now, normally, if we had time, I'd be, so in pounds, £48. £48. So really, if you wanted to buy on the dark web, to ransomware somebody and go down that route, just costs £48. So that's today's stats. So overall, I just wanted to finish here. Top 5 tips to secure your devices, your laptops, your phones and tablets, and your services, and all that kind of stuff that we talked about. Remember the definition of cybersecurity at the start? Be smart about public Wi-Fi. Yeah, so remember, next time you go to that coffee shop, please do not actually go onto their Wi-Fi. Remember, you're giving the data away, and you're putting yourself in not a good position. Don't reuse password. Stick multi-factor authentication on, or 2-factor authentication. The big thing I can say, and this is the here and now really, tip number 5 is secure your home Wi-Fi. All right. I'm going to end it there. I know we're literally just gone over time, and apologies for going over time, but
You're fine.
happy to take any questions and answers as well.
Let's see. I don't have any questions in the chat. Does anybody have any questions for Sunny?
I have one, Sonny. If you have like an older email address, like my personal email address is probably more than 20 years old. I mean, is it more susceptible? It's just a statistical thing, right? Or
Yes. Yeah, yes is the answer.
Okay.
So what I really have is, so what I do, and I advise my family and friends, is to audit what email addresses they have actually got. And in the principle of minimization, if you don't need it, delete it, because you can buy stagnant email addresses on the dark web today, where it's very easy to then, and this happened to me, where my Gmail was actually used, which I didn't really use, and it was used to take loans out in my name as well. So this happened many years ago. So in this instance, I advise, please have a look at have a housekeeping on your email addresses that you actually use. And if you don't use them, go into the privacy and security settings and delete. Don't just delete apps or anything like that. Go into the settings side of things and delete, please. I don't know if that's answered your question.
Very good.
Does that help? Yeah, no problem.
yes, very, very.
Couple of questions. Do you recommend, what's your recommendation on a VPN?
I use Norton.
Norton.
And I'm not a salesperson for Norton or anything like that, but Norton is one of the renowned VPNs to actually invest in. And like I said earlier, me, my wife, and my daughter, I've invested in Norton VPN. It's got a password manager. It's got a dark web search on there as well, so it notifies me when my email address enters onto the dark web. And I pay a nominal fee, and it protects my laptop, my device. My daughter's just turned 11. And it's petrifying because she's just had her first iPhone. And so I've got Norton on her device as well. So that's the VPN I'd go for.
And the other question is, what about a physical key on your computer? Instead of having a Google authentication, that, you know, like they send a YubiKey and stuff like that, so you can't get into the computer unless you have the key nearby.
Yeah, I think, look, and this is where, Bob, you're the expert as well, but, you know, there's YubiKey and all that stuff as well. As long as you don't lose it in this day and age, you know, it's very
Right.
then difficult. It poses a business problem when you've got something physical as well. But I do actually like the fact that you've got something physical there, but you just got an added pressure of kind of losing it in real terms. But I am a fan of them as well.
Cool. Hey, can you put that screen back on that has your QR code real quick? I got
Yeah, sure.
some individuals wanted to get your information. I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick.
Yeah, sure. There it is there. Can you see it there?
Yep. I'm gonna just take a
Yeah.
screenshot and
Please
add
do.
it into chat real quick. Got some people asking.
Yeah. I
And
mean, I'm also on LinkedIn. For those who are on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, I mean, obviously I use it in a safe and responsible way, but I put a lot of education out there as well. And if you know, connect with me, feel free to reach out to me as well. There's lots of advice and guidance that I can send you, which is bespoke to your individual requirements as well. And I would say, you know, for me, it's that health check that I actually talked about earlier at the start of this session. You know, I really do feel that businesses, you know, benefit. And it's, you know, don't have to come to CyberSea. There are other cybersecurity companies out there who will help you to review, you know, what you've got in place from a business perspective. What we also do is from an individual perspective. So remember when I talked about the iPhone and Android codes to actually understand whether you're being listened to or not. We engage you. So hopefully I've given you a good impression of what type of stuff, you know, real pragmatic, simple stuff that we can give you. We basically do a personal evaluation on yourself and your business. We actually also help you with a gap analysis. And we'll give you like a red, amber, green report. And we don't just leave you with the red, amber, green report. The red and ambers will be layman's terms in terms of change your Wi-Fi password, get a password manager, very much similar to the stuff that we've spoken about today. So feel free to reach out to me on, you know, on anything to do with, so I've lost the QR code now. Apologies.
I put it in the chat.
You put it in the chat. Okay,
Yes.
no problem. That's
So
fine.
they got
That's
it.
fine, actually.
And
Yeah.
then I'll put it on the post on Workplace so everybody can access it too.
Yeah, and Bob, just to finish off, I think that, you know, next week we have got more of a detailed session as well. So if anyone's interested, and you know, feel free to, you know, share the details, Bob, you know, with everyone. And
Yes.
more than happy to have a bit more of a Q&A. I'm conscious time ran out today, but hopefully you and the group and every individual has had some value from today. I hope, you know, even if it's one or two things, you know, my top tip is change your Wi-Fi password if you haven't, because the best analogy I can give you here is when you left your house this morning, you know, hopefully you locked your front door, but in the digital world, what you're doing is if you haven't changed your Wi-Fi password, you're leaving your digital environment at home open, yeah? And that's open for black hat hackers who I talked about earlier, leaving it open to compromise as well. And hopefully some of the stuff that we spoke about today will help to prevent cyber attacks as well. There is more, but that's for another day.
Well, thank you, Sunny. So what Sunny's talking about is we're doing a second part to this training next week, same time, 9 o'clock. And for those of you that actually would like to meet Sunny live, he is going to be at the Elevate 21 in July at the Hilton Orlando. So we're kind of excited to have him and his team be at the next Elevate 21 in Orlando. So if you want to meet him in person, he'll be there, which is amazing. And so thank you for everybody on the call. Sunny, I appreciate your time. We will see you next week, same time. And if anybody has any questions, just reach out to me. Yes, next week, same time, 9 a.m. So reach out to me if you have, and I can get those questions forwarded over to Sunny. All right.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Sunny.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you,
very
Sunny.
Thank you.
much. Okay, bye.